Good morning, everyone. I'll try not to be too redundant. I find myself standing up on a lot of occasions here and getting myself a little bored, so I don't want to do that to you. But alumni who are here, welcome. Faculty and former faculty, trustees and former trustees, it's great to have everyone here. I will admit to being old-fashioned. I never get tired of big tent reunions. I think I know the world is going a different direction. Big tent reunions, which is why we're all here this weekend, to me, tug at my heart, but they also reinforce for me everything that's the best of Williston, which is all about connections and relationships to one another, which you are all proof positive of. The state of the school, which is sort of the title of my 5 minutes here at the podium, the state of the school is changing. And I want to say that's a good thing. Schools are evergreen, and they need to be. As hard as it is for us to think that a dorm gets changed or renovated or some space no longer exists, we actually want that. I say to folks when they question me on that, when I go into a doctor's office, I like a modern doctor's office. I don't like that rusty scalpel taken out. So schools are the same way. But as soon as I say that, particularly to alumni, I want you to know that the DNA remains the same. And that's the great beauty of all things at Williston. That the DNA, the relationships, the connections, the incredibly tight life lessons that get learned here are all still the same. And I'm going to give a couple of examples of how we think about education, how we think about school as we move along. If you think about it, we saw early technology kind of coming along. You know, we had mainframe computers, we had tower computers with a big monitor, we had slimmed down Apple Cs, and then we saw the change in technology, and schools adapt to that. Again, evergreen, we want to adapt to that. There's some things we cannot predict at all. I'm tired of talking about COVID, but that is one of them. And what are we planning for right now? We're planning for the 6th and 7th and 8th graders who went through COVID so that we can better educate those kids today. Those weren't the kids from 5 years ago or 10 years ago. We have to think differently about what it means to open school even in this coming fall. Another one that comes right to mind that's on top of your mind is AI. Contrary to what I said before, where we could kind of see it coming and had a little bit of a runway, we don't have much of a runway, in my opinion, with AI. It's on us, and it's on us quickly. All that said, Williston has never been stronger. Our endowment is, as I said earlier today, to a group at the HVC, we're closing in on $60 million. That's a remarkable number. When I took over the school in 2010, thanks to the Great Recession, the endowment, just like all endowments across the nation, had taken quite a haircut, and we've built that back up. The Henry and Amy List gift that you all read about and heard about, $6.7 million to the endowment, went a long way in helping us. Just this past April, we received 2 anonymous $1 million gifts. And I only am talking about this to show the power of what endowment can do. We have a fund at the school to help our neediest students on financial aid. We've been raising money towards that fund and spending it in that year, about $40,000 a year. This fund, this endowed fund, will now guarantee about $100,000 a year, the power of endowment. Admissions is strong. Teams continue to punch above our weight class. I'll shout out to girls water polo, three-peated this year by beating Loomis and Exeter to get to that title. Girls softball, softball beat Choate down at Choate to win the championship. So again, punching the I'll give it up. Punching above the weight class. One of the data points of this year's class, which is a little different from other years, is there are about 95 or 6 graduates, a slightly smaller class than we've had before. And they're going to colleges literally all over the country. And something like 75 of them are going to different colleges. So you don't have these large groupings of kids going to one school. Just some examples. We've got kids heading off to Princeton and Dartmouth and Brown and Harvard, West Point, Points West, familiar schools like Bowdoin, Amherst, Tufts, Bucknell, Conn College, Union College, the small ones, dance conservatories at the University of Michigan or at Boston, It's amazing to see where our kids are going, and if you saw the whole list, it would be names very familiar to you, and then some that you might not recognize as readily. But our seniors are being recognized around the nation for their strengths, and they're taking advantage of that. One more thing before I turn it over to Eric. We have a new strategic plan at the school. You like to have a blueprint and a roadmap going forward. The trustees signed off on this about a year and a half ago. And no surprising to the folks here in this room, it's all about our people. The name of the strategic plan is Our People, Our Purpose, and everything we do going forward to that plan will impact the life of students and the life of faculty. I am thrilled that we have adopted that kind of a focus. So things are great at Williston. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for being here today to celebrate these great recipients. Eric will be emceeing, and I'll turn it back over to him. Thank you.